That's right, baby. You know what it is? It's DJ Sus One, the feature presentation. Listen, make sure you wake up with TaylaAndre Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. on Big City 101.3 FM. Wake up with the Radio Rebel. Politics, news, conspiracies. Wake up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. This is the type of stuff I'm into, all right? Make sure you tune in. Let's go.
Let's go. Big City 101.3 FM, waking up with TaylaAndre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. I'm going to say thank you to every single last one of you that has reached out, whether it was Facebook, whether it was Instagram, whether it was Twitter, whether it was any form of social media, a direct text message, a phone call. I thank you. I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. My family is currently going through it. My baby, my love, my heart is gone. She left us on Valentine's Day at 6:55 p.m. That probably won't be the time of death that the doctor declares, but we were in the room and watched her take her last breath. And it's amazing as a mother to give life and to watch life grow, and then to be present when life is taken away or transformed. Asaria told me, Mommy, I believe in reincarnation. I never taught my daughter reincarnation. I never taught her that. We never went down that path. But she said that she believes in reincarnation. She believes that, in my words, based on her words, she believes in the transformation of energy from one state into another, which scientifically, energy never dies, it just transfers. Her name was Frances Pina Gomes. She was born October 5th. We ain't gonna give that baby's age, but she is my grandmother's sister. She was like a grandmother to me, for mine died when I was 2. She was the auntie that everybody dropped their kids off with. She was the auntie that everybody knew, I'll drop my hungry kids off and they'll be fed and full and fat by the time I get there. She was that auntie. She never yelled. She never screamed. She never fussed. She never argued. She never complained about anything, ever. I don't know how we related. But she is my baby, and I thank her for everything she taught me, everything she instilled in me. She was a woman of virtue, and I pray that I can live up to be as great as she is, not was, as great as she is to me and my mind and my children. They were in the room with her when she passed. And Asaria is so strong. That baby she is just, and I say it all the time, when I grow up, I want to be like Asaria. And I saw her more than ever at 6:55 p.m., February 14th, 2017. Just how strong that little girl is. Please call your elders. Please call your family members. Please, if there's anybody that you have a grudge against or you're angry with. I just saw my auntie 2 weeks ago. I was just sitting with her, laughing with her, taking videos of her, joking with her. And today we're figuring out how we're going to bury her. I wish I could make her a tree so I can go sit underneath her. I climbed in the bed one last time with her. I do feel at peace. I do feel at ease because of that. Whenever I went to go visit, that's exactly what I would do, like a little kid. Nothing changed. I just got bigger. Climb in the bed with my auntie. As far as news is concerned, there is a lot of it, but I just wanted to share with you as much as you guys share with me, as much truth and honesty comes through these phone lines, as much truth and honesty comes through this social media. I wanted to be truthful and honest, transparent, and vulnerable with you like you are with me. I've been crying my eyes out, and as much as my soul is like, Tayla, you're at peace, as much as my soul is continuing to communicate with her, even as my lips are moving and words are coming out of my mouth, my mental just can't wrap around the fact that I can't directly talk and touch and laugh with her. Molecular and genetic medicine, a review of vaccines induced immune overload, resulting in epidemics of type 1 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, emphasis on explaining the recent accelerations in the risk of pre-diabetes and other immune mediated diseases. There is a study, I'm going to post it, that is the title of the study, and it's the review of vaccines that induce type 1 diabetes, that induce immune diseases. I want to give a huge, huge shout out to the babies I saw yesterday who said, Tayla, I have listened to you for so long. When I was pregnant with my son, I said, Tayla doesn't get Anari and Asaria vaccinated. I'm not going to get my son vaccinated. At 4 years old, that baby is never sick. At 4 years old, that baby is as healthy as any of these other children, but have never gotten sick and has never been vaccinated. I thank you for doing your own due diligence, but for heeding my words as far as getting informed before consent. I'm not saying I want you to go out and nobody vaccinate their kids. I'm saying be informed before you consent. And I will post this article. You can read it. It's pretty lengthy, but it has a lot of juicy facts in it. I want to give a huge shout out to Aaron McGregor, the creator of the Boondocks and Black Jesus. He is coming out with a new series in 2017. And this is amazing because Dave Chappelle just came out of retirement too. Cause I feel like TV is coming back. I might get cable after 10 years. I'm joking. I would never pay. Y'all pay astronomical $179 for some damn cable and internet. No sirree, Bob. A vote of 23 to 15, Republicans just voted not to request Donald Trump's tax returns from the Treasury Department. This was from the Ways and Means. I would suggest that you follow, I say this all the time, but I mean it. Twitter is absolutely amazing. You want to get something done? Twitter. You want to complain to whatever company just peed you off? Twitter. You want to connect with some of your favorite celebrities? Twitter. You want to find out what's going on in government? Twitter. I know a lot of people like, Tayla, Twitter's too much for me. Twitter is like a constant feed. Every millisecond, it's being posted and it's updated. You can choose who you want to follow. You can choose what topics you want to follow. But I'm trying to save your life here. Twitter is the place to be. And of course, on Twitter, I'm TaylaAndre like I am elsewhere. TaylaAndre. I would tell you story after story about things that Twitter has done for me. Because I don't care who you tweet. I don't care what company. If you can't contact them on the phone, if you can't get corporate's number, if you've been waiting on hold for 2 hours and still can't get to anybody, Twitter. The only people that you probably can't contact on Twitter is the IRS. Shout out to my Southerners who know what ARA is. What letter is that? After 15 years, ABC cast a Black Bachelorette. The article actually says after 15 whitewashed years, ABC finally cast a Black Bachelorette. Why does that matter? Because it's been 15 years and there ain't been a person of color that was in the main seat since it started. So She's a pretty little girl. Shout out to her. Her name is Rachel Lindsay. She's 31 years old. She's an attorney from Dallas. Shout out to Black Excellence all day, every day. I don't watch that stuff, but I definitely will follow, like, how they kind of portray her. She's a Black attorney. She's 31 years old. She's absolutely gorgeous. So I would like to see how this pans out. In other news, a Russian spy ship. I'm sorry, did you hear me? A Russian spy ship was spotted patrolling the waters of not Russia, not Japan, not China, but the United States of America, 70 miles off the coast of Delaware. 70 miles off the coast of Delaware, my loves. Officials say they are keeping a close eye on the spy ship, which is armed with surface-to-air missiles, but say it is not a huge concern in quotation marks. The fact, comments deleted. I will delete that comment in my head and not allow it to come out my mouth. The SSV-175 boat measures 300 feet long, 47.5 feet wide. It is a Russian intelligence gathering ship. It was last spotted off the coast of Florida in 2015, and before then near the U.S. Navy ballistic missile submarine base in Kings Bay, Georgia. It is the first such move by Russian military under Trump's presidency. I read the report. They said that, we have all types of ships all overseas. If you've ever Googled, and I dare you to Google how many military bases the United States have throughout the world, you will be amazed and wonder, like, how are they attacking us? I think we're clearly attacking them. We have them circled. How are they a threat to us when we are damn near on top of them? It's not alarming, but it is. It's not alarming because this is the way that, as far as military science, a lot of us don't understand military science. A lot of us will never understand military science. A lot of us have never read The Art of War, which is an excellent book. And if you love 48 Laws of Power, I would suggest you read The Art of War because it gives you a less evil version of the 48 Laws of Power. The 48 Laws of Power teach you how to be a snake, teach you how to be grimy, teach you how to be disgusting. Like, it's not a good look. The Art of War teaches you more so how to move. It teaches you more so how to play chess, but in real life. Real life chess, not checkers. Russian scientists find massive amounts of extraterrestrial material during an expedition to the Iranian desert. A team of 4 geologists made the trip to the Lut Desert in Iran earlier this year. They recovered meteorites that hit Russia in 2013. You guys remember that video of that Russian meteorite that flew across the sky and scared everyone to death? They recovered a meteorite-like material that is around 80%. 80% of it is from outer space. It's believed to be the same age as our solar system, about 4.5 billion years old. We will definitely follow that to just find out what it is that they're finding and what can we learn from this. The team of 4 just, they went in there for an expedition to find meteorites, and they found them. 80% of what they found came from outer space, and as old as the solar system, they say. How do you even age that? I always wondered, like, as far as carbon aging, it never really made sense to me. Maybe we need more scientists in the building, because I love science and science fiction, and I have 1,000,001 questions. So let's see if you guys know any scientists, any geologists, any archaeologists, if you know any of them, please have them hit me up, TaylaAndre. They can do the .com and contact me directly, or they can do whatever social media feels comfortable for them. But I would really like to build on our science portion of this learning, because I have opinions all day, but I need some facts, baby. Monkeys can learn to recognize themselves in the mirror, a key indicator of self-awareness, aka stop using them as freaking guinea pigs. That's all. When I read this, that's all that I said. Like this right here, the fact that monkeys can recognize themselves in a mirror and they have self-awareness, this was, for me, an indicator that we need to stop using them as guinea pigs, because if they have self-awareness, if they cry, elephants cry when their kids die or when their parents die. When we have animals that express emotion, I don't understand why we think it's okay to lock them up in cages and treat them as circus pets, or treat them as pets at all. Why we lock them up in cages and do all types of experiments on them. If they have emotional states such as humans, I don't know why we treat them, I was going to say like animals. Tayla, they're animals. I have a different ideology what that means, though. The government ethics watchdog slaps Kellyanne for clear violation following the Ivanka Trump. You guys seen the fact that her products are selling for $1.50 on sale now for 50 cents was $89.99. Y'all are idiots. I don't know what's got. Listen, I could have been Kellyanne. I could have been Trump's spokesperson. This is ridiculous. She don't know no laws, no rules, no nothing. She don't know how to do her job. That's neither here nor there. I don't even know why I brought up her name. Just to remind us how ridiculous this administration is. I've read this story before. I want to read it again. There is a mother. We are following this story. Buffalo, New York. She realized that her school district was failing to properly educate her children, so she went ahead and started homeschooling her children. She did everything legal. I'm trying to find the backstory, because if she did everything legal to homeschool her children and she was still arrested, her children were still taken away from her for neglect, I'm trying to find, the backstory of where the neglect actually came from. If it wasn't just neglect because she was homeschooling, or if there was like previous neglect, or the, Child Protective Services was in her life before she started. Because the story doesn't make sense about the Buffalo, New York mother who did everything legal she was supposed to do to homeschool her children. She had her children taken away from her. Still today, this is an active story today, she has not had or been with her children, seen her children, hugged her children. I don't know. I do not know. But one of the things I do know is Coach Billy Carson is the founder of Wave of Action. He has formed a nonprofit called COPS, Citizens Oversight on Public Servants. Their main objective is to stop police brutality. Okay, I'm sorry, rewind. Police terrorism by civilly suing the sheriff or mayor of the towns that have acts of police brutality and misconduct. I bet you'll get it right when it's time for me to check your pockets. Because most of the time, when something of that magnitude takes place, what happens is the city is sued. Your tax dollars are going to the person who is suing the police, who is suing the mayor. Well, they typically don't sue the mayor. They typically sue the police department as a whole. Our tax dollars are then used to pay off whatever the sum comes out to be. But Billy Carson and Wave of Action, and they're all on Twitter, they're on Instagram. Citizen Oversight on Public Servants is the name of his nonprofit, COPS. And I think this is so dope. I think this is so dope. They have decided to hit them in the pockets. It's not fair that taxpayers have to foot the bill while the guilty officer is giving a paid vacation. This is coming to an end. Teams of attorneys are being put together. There are civil accountability on behalf of the mayor and sheriff of these towns nationwide. There is a pending case in Palm Bay, Florida, and the final judgment in Los Angeles. A CA, former Los Angeles County Sheriff Lee Baca, must decide within a week whether to pay $100,000 in damages stemming from a civil lawsuit involving an inmate abuse case or face liens on his assets. Do you guys remember Lee Baca? We read it was probably about a year ago. We read the story about Lee Baca, and cops went ahead and sued him. So he either has to pay the $100,000 or we finna take your house. I think this is amazing because it honestly, it hits them when it hurts. It holds them accountable. And it's them individually, not the department, aka tax dollars. We're going to see if we can get Coach Billy Carson on air to talk about this program, because I think that baby need to be honored. That was a great idea. So amazing. Without any further ado, I do have other news stories that we have, but I will post them on the Wake Up with TaylaAndre page. And there you will also find access to the amazing From Frustration to Freedom, a new approach to love relationships with a national best-selling author and relationship coach for the first time in the greater Boston area, Debrina Jackson Gandy. She's amazing. You guys know I love her. From being a national best-selling author to being an international transformational speaker. She's a business consultant, a trainer, a national seminar leader. Like, she's dope on so many levels. She's been seen in magazines and publications such as Wake Up with TaylaAndre on Big City 101.3, but also Oprah's O, Essence, Black Enterprise, Empowering Women, Today's Black Woman, Emerge, Heart and Soul. I could go on, but that would take the entire show because she has been featured everywhere. Debrina Jackson Gandy is currently live on air. Good rising, baby. How are you?
Good to be back.
I'm glad you're back. I want to thank you in advance. I want to thank you now because in California, it is 3 a.m., correct?
Yes, honey.
She loves us, y'all. She loves us, and she loves us so much that she's coming to Boston February 25th, and she will be here for our viewing audience, listening pleasures, and we'll be able to talk back, though, right? This isn't a lecture. I got to sit there and take notes. We'll be able to interact, correct?
Oh, it's all about engaging. Absolutely.
So, Debrina, what have you been up to? It's been a while. The last time we spoke to you, we were talking about the love lies and the love truths and manese and womanese.
Well, it has been exciting because I've only continued to do this awesome relationship work and really introducing people to this new paradigm. Just a few weeks ago, I was leading my men-only mentality relationship seminar, had a full house of men that raised their hand at the end of the 3 hours saying, we want more, we want to go on to the advanced course. I've been traveling around the country doing my Love Academy for women, doing my seminars for women also on magnetism and feminine radiance and how to bust up the female love lies. So people are getting hungrier and hungrier for this relationships information, which is really, really exciting, and why I'm so excited to finally be coming to Boston. After being on the road all over the country doing this work, I finally get to bring it to the MA, Boston, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
And we're thankful for that. You named a few different like academies and seminars and women empowerment. Are these all programs that you put together yourself, or are these? How do you come up with these academies, and how do you create these things? And how are you, so well versed in relationships?
Well, the way most because I really go by the demand. So when I started doing my relationships work back in 2009, I started with the Love Academy 101, which is for women. And as women started experiencing these amazing results, as they started to see relationships turn around, or women that had experienced lots of frustration and resignation in relationships started to have a different response from men, then the women started to say, well, Sabrina, what do you have for the men? This is amazing. We are having our eyes opened and our minds blown. But what about our men? We want them to come along with us. We don't want them left behind. So that's how mentality came into being, was because the women made the request. And when I started with Mentality 101, there was no 101. It was just mentality. And the men said, we want more. And the women said, we want more. So then I created Love Academy 201 and Mentality 201. And then women said, well, Sabrina, we want to know more about this courtship model, modern courtship, this thing you're talking about, different from courtship as we usually think of it. And the single woman said, so we need a seminar so we can start to really understand how to walk out this new way of engaging that you're talking about as single women. So that's how Courtship Academy came about. And then I started to have couples approach me and say, well, Sabrina, we're married and we need some help. And once I had enough couples saying that to me and making a request for me to create an offering, especially for married people, that's how Covenant Academy came along. So it really has been as a result of need and demand and people's hunger for truth. Because, you know, the model that we're operating in, that we're born into, that we're socialized in, is based on what I call the love lies, a series of faulty beliefs and flawed beliefs that give us really horrific outcomes and the highest divorce rate of any other country on the face of planet Earth. So people are hungry for something different, and we're finally waking up out of the trance to admit and confess what we're doing is absolutely not working. And so many of us are suffering silently and not so silently behind the curtain of our relationships, and people are finally kind of like throwing their hands up, massive throw up of hands, really,
I understand, Lee.
We're not going to continue this way anymore. And so the time is right and ripe for a relationships revolution. So I just keep responding to the demand and the requests and looking to how I can be of service.
If you have any questions, give us a call. Sabrina Jackson Gandy, relationship coach, relationship guru, if I can pin that label onto you. You say that we currently operate, and I'm familiar with the love lies, but what paradigm are we currently living in as far as relationships are concerned?
Well, in this American culture, it is a culture of materialism. It's a culture of capitalism. So what we learn is to put value on things, what you can see and take in with your five senses, and we learn to be in pursuit of profit. And we're chasing something that's held out in front of us. And so the unfortunate thing is that, unconsciously we bring that same kind of belief system to our love relationships. But love is not a thing to be found, though we speak of trying to find love as if it is something in another person. If you're a woman, he's called the one, or Mr. Right, the one who has the love that will complete us. So we bring that same ideology that materialism creates in us and that capitalism creates in us, and we unsuccessfully bring it over to the love relationships arena and apply the same thinking. So then we are on the hunt to find. Men say it, women say it, and then we treat love like a thing, like it's something material. So that keeps producing completely disastrous results, yet our love songs, or our so-called love songs, our love stories, or our so-called love stories, really are more about control and ownership and possession than love. So we're confused about love, the nature of love, how love behaves. We misname love relationships. Really, they're lust relationships in many cases. So we are jacked up, and the fallout of our confusion about love and the poisoning that has occurred as a result of the faulty beliefs we've inherited about love have produced terrible consequences, everything from health to families ripped apart to even homicide. Look at the TV show called Snapped, which is all about murder as a result of love relationships gone wrong. So the stakes are high, the consequences are high, and costly, and in some cases, even deadly.
Wow. And this is very true. In your opinion, what is different today in our relationships that wasn't the same for our parents or our grandparents? Do you think these love lies have continued throughout generations, or do you think we have, less respect for love today than we did or our elders did in the past?
Well, even years ago, we were still operating from the love lies. But one of the things that I think is unique or different about this era that we find ourselves in is that frustration and confusion, both of them, frustration and confusion, is at an all-time high because we have believed that it was an access issue. Where are all the good men? Where are all the good women? And we had this lack mentality. Well, now with online dating, which I call online meeting, that now dispels that particular myth that we've been operating from. So now at your fingertips, with over 300 online dating sites, you have access to literally thousands of men, and men have access to literally thousands of women. So I think the frustration is even higher because now the quantity issue has been taken off the table, which for so many is their excuse or their justification for why I'm not in a relationship. Where are the men? Where are the women? Well, now you got thousands available to you. Now what becomes the excuse? Well, that was never the real reason anyway. So that's one of the reasons I think that people are more frustrated than ever, because now they have access. It's at your fingertips, and it's to thousands, and people are still not experiencing deep satisfaction and fulfillment. If anything, it's casualized sex even more, and in a culture that is confused about love, you don't then add sex to the picture, because then it will become a perversion, or it will become dishonored, which is exactly what's been going on for many decades in this country. So things are there's even more confusion and frustration, I think, than previous generations. A lot of times, if you look at the African American culture, staying together often was a survival issue, or community longevity issue. So now we've become even more, me, my, individualistic in our culture. And so those larger reasons that you might, fight through it and try to make it and, grit and bear it, have evaporated. And now relationships have become, treated like a whim. So I think, I'm calling it a relationships revolution. That's what's needed, because I really think we're in a crisis. We're in a crisis on a whole bunch of levels of love relationships. So this is a wake-up call, and I'm sounding the alarm and introducing people back to truth. Truth is not new, so it's an introduction back to truth.
So I want to give a huge shout out to V from Tennessee, who, when you mentioned online meeting, not online dating, he mentioned BlackPlanet.com, which I don't think anybody has a profile. I don't even know. Yo, V from Tennessee, see if they're still up and running. As far as Black love is concerned, are our numbers different statistically than those of our other peers, whether they're white or Asian? Is Black love, or has Black love dwindled, or is Black love growing in comparison to other races?
Well, we're all part of one race, human race. So comparison to other ethnicities, we can't buy the lie of different races. We're all one race, Homo sapiens. So different ethnicity. So absolutely, because African American people in this country have a very unique journey from anybody else in this land. So when you look at the 51% divorce rate of the majority culture, the Western American, European, for example, 51% divorce rate. Well, then among African Americans, it's a little bit higher. When you look at the divorce rate of second marriages, which is even higher than first marriages, 62%, then it's a little bit higher among African Americans because we have traumas that no other ethnicity has in this culture that are still in our cells, that are still in our genetic memory. So might it be true that a people that not that many years ago were owned like property and treated with less rights than the family dog, not even recognized as being human, not even recognized as being able to create and have human relationships, that now in 2017, because we're an unhealed nation, that we might be having even more severe challenges in our ability to love ourselves and each other? Yes, indeed, absolutely. So there's so many reasons that, love relationships, between the Black man and the Black woman is challenging. Plus, there was an all-out systematic attempt to keep us from ever loving each other. So we have to have compassion for our condition and recognize that healing is part of our path back to reopening our hearts to one another, because there is straight out trauma and terror that has been associated with our attempt to love each other as Black man and Black woman. So our path is different. Our path back to each other is different because our path apart from each other is unique among all other ethnicities in this country. But it's also a love that I think is more powerful as well, because in the face of all that, we still are seeking to love each other and reopen our hearts. So this new paradigm I'm talking about, based on the love truths versus the love lies, not only works for us, but it especially works for us, because love is a spiritual phenomenon. And so if we want to experience deep satisfaction and fulfillment in our love relationships, then it has to be based in a spiritual truth, in spiritual truths. And those transcend a people, a nation, a generation, or an era. And that's what I reintroduce to people is the love truths. And that's why the results are transformational, and in some cases even miraculous.
So we are currently on the line with Debrina Jackson-Gandy. If you have any questions regarding relationships or love lies, we read the book together. We had conversations about the love lies. We were understanding manese, the womanese, and today we are talking about, love and bringing it back to love. My question, Debrina, is how do we heal?
Well, it's so interesting. In Love Academy 201 and Mentality 201, both of those courses for men only, women only, and men only respectively include a forgiveness component. So, for example, when I talk to a woman that's divorced, and I have single, married, and divorced women and single, married, and divorced men do my courses, I can ask a simple question like, so share with me what you learned from your marriage. And if you're saying, well, I learned to never trust, da-da-da-da-da, well, that's still coming from an unhealed place. If you can speak from a place of wisdom and learning and growth and expansion and a deeper understanding of the nature of love, you've done your healing work. So that is one of the reasons I put a forgiveness process. When forgiveness is being done in a comprehensive way, there are 5 steps to it. So not only are we unhealed, but I can ask people, well, what are the 5 steps? What constitutes a comprehensive healing process? And people don't know because we talk about needing to heal, but we don't understand, well, what actually brings about a restoration of our faulty beliefs, a healing of faulty beliefs, or a healing of emotional residue from past experiences. And forgiveness is what restores one. What restores one's wholeness, what reopens hearts that have been closed, what can heal hearts that have been broken, what can heal crazy beliefs that have been taken on. And so it's a detox process as well. You know, how do I get the poison out of me that's in me and replace it with love? So, and you know, that's why even in the Love Lives, the whole 3rd section of the book is about healing and detoxing. So you first have to acknowledge and become aware of the poison in you and how it got there. And then how do I purge it, clean it out, replace it with love, get it out of my system. So I lay the whole process out because you cannot change what you don't acknowledge. So we have to start by recognizing that we are sick, that we're poisoned with some crazy beliefs about love, relationships, and how to relate and engage that are screwed up. And instead of acting like everything's fine and faking it and perpetrating and masking and quietly suffering, we got to start telling the truth. That's the first part of healing is I am sick. It's like being in Alcoholics Anonymous. The very first step is to be able to say, I am an alcoholic. I have a problem with alcohol because so much of the alcoholic's journey is denying that. So the very first step to begin healing when we're sick is to say, I am sick. We are sick. We have a flawed, diseased model of love relationships and marriage. And if we look around, we see the signs of the sickness. You know, even in my, in the Love Lives, I use this metaphor of the way we keep perpetuating sickness in love relationships is like going back to a well and drawing water and drinking the water from the well, yet we have evidence all around us that the well water is contaminated and poisonous because we look at all the people who drank the water from that well and they're lying on the ground, writhing in pain, yelling and screaming and vomiting. So we're looking around and we see people writhing in pain, silently or obviously, from the poison of these crazy love lies that are part of our social fabric. And yet we keep drinking from the well and drinking from the well and not telling the truth about this well water is making me sick. Instead, we go, here, you have some. And so enough of that. And we need to be drinking from a purified well water. And we need to learn how to heal the nausea and it can be healed. And that's one of the things that sets my approach apart, is I don't just talk about we need to heal. Healing, going through a forgiveness process collectively inside the advanced courses is part of what we do. So that's been really refreshing, and also one of the reasons that the results that people have are so remarkable.
So really quickly, when you come on February 25th to the Lower Mills Lodge, where we had the Black Guns Matter event, do you think we'll be able to learn how to heal that day? Can I calm my single self and come and learn to heal? Can my married self come and learn to heal? Can my divorced self come and learn to heal?
Well, not only learn, but begin it. Because remember, step one is we first have to acknowledge, and we have to begin to be truth tellers instead of fakers and perpetrators. And the truth shall make you free. We often misquote that and say, set you free, which means we're in bondage. No. We're already free, but the lies keep us thinking we're in bondage. So the truth shall make you free, because free is our natural state based upon our divine design. So absolutely.
Preach, baby, preach.
It will begin. It will begin. And what is so amazing, and me and my staff have started to pay closer attention to this. This is how profound truth is. And it's also how profound lies are, because lies can even create disease in our systems, manifest as disease. That's how deep lies are, how damaging they can be. So in Love Academy 101, Mentality 101, for example, after 1.5 hours in Love Academy, the physiology, meaning the actual appearance of women, starts to shift. Because we hold lies as tension in our musculature, when women start to hear truth, their muscles that were tensed up because lies cause you to tense up, and you think it's your normal way of being, and it's acquired and learned, that the muscles start to relax as truth is brought forward. And women start to look differently. They start to have softer jawlines. More radiance starts to emanate from their being. Their eyes start to sparkle. The tone of their skin changes. They start to look more beautiful as their acquired way of holding themselves. They now start to relax. And it's only after an hour and a half we start to see physiological changes start to happen in the appearance of people. Is that not amazing?
That sounds like a fairy tale. How do you guys even measure that? Do you take like before and after pictures?
We don't, but we're going to start at some point because the change is so significant. And there will be, like I was just in New York 2 weeks ago, and there was a couple of particular women that when they came in, they looked hard, they looked mean, they looked angry. There was a way they were holding their mouths. And as the day progressed, they started to get free. They started to be introduced to truths that were having them see clearly. Oh my God, now I'm understanding why I've experienced so much frustration and why I'm carrying bitterness in my heart. Oh my God, now I understand what's happening. And so there would be moments where I would be interacting with that person. I'd say, freeze, don't move. And I'd say, everybody look. Look, what do you see? Like, oh my God, she looks so different. She's sparkling, she's smiling, she looks softer, she looks more approachable, she doesn't look so mean and angry. She looks happy. There's, and everyone sees it. And I'll do that once in a while, like, I'll be interacting with someone and say, freeze, don't move, freeze, right there. And I'll say, everybody look. What do you notice? Oh my God, So me and my staff are not the only ones that notice it. I've now started doing that at select moments, so everyone, because it's easy to notice it in someone else you see versus yourself, because we're not, holding mirrors up. But there is a point where I think we'll start doing like a split screen photograph before and after. So people can literally with their own eyes start to see it. I was in San Diego last week, and one of the women sent a selfie and posted it and was, raving about the event. And everybody was like, oh my God, this is not the same woman from earlier today. Look at her and her radiance and her luminosity. And I mean, it was just amazing. So, yes, the healing will absolutely begin because we're going to start to bring the love truths forward. And we're going to start to disentangle and dismantle this mess that we have on our hands as it relates to love relationships. Because a lot of people have gotten resigned, thrown in the towel, and there's going to be hope restored on February 25th, whether you're single, married, or divorced. Because what we really want to do is open our hearts to one another. And we're going to begin to do that again on the 25th. So yes, healing will begin.
Healing will make you free. Debrina Jackson-Gandy will be here in Boston for the first time ever on February 25th. We will be at the Lower Mills Lodge where we had the Black Guns Matter event. And tickets are currently on sale. You can go to www.TaylaAndre.com and it will take you, you'll see the flyer. You can click on the flyer. It'll take you straight to the landing page. We currently, Miss G, call back, baby. I was about to pull you up. Miss G was about to call, and she always calls with some wisdom and overstanding. But one of the things that you said while we wait for Miss G to call back is you could see the difference in the women once they started to, learn the love truths and you started letting go, started healing, and the healing started to make them free. Some women would say, she looks so angry, and look how happy and peaceful and relaxed she looks now. That made me think of the quote-unquote angry black woman syndrome. There's articles that named it like a mental health issue. But as far as that is concerned, do you think, now this is me jumping off a cliff a little bit, but do you think that angry black women are just women that need to be loved and women that need to heal, and not really that they're angry, but they're holding in so much frustration and pain from their past that it comes out physically and comes out in every aspect of their life?
Yeah, and not just their past, their present. And if you grew up in the United States of America and you are African American, every single one of us has a right to be angry. And it's natural and it's part of a human response to what we have experienced. And because this country is so unhealed, it has not even acknowledged the depths and the atrocities of the enslavement period and treat it as if it's something in our far, far past. We just got civil rights within the last few decades. And so, yes, we are angry for a whole bunch of reasons, as any human would be that deals with what we do and have experienced, especially in a nation that minimizes it and tries to, in their own sickness, turn it back on us as if we created our own situation. And so, yes, we are tired often. We are fed up often. Often the black woman has held together black families, while in some cases men have had the luxury of abandoning their families. We remain, we hold it together, we make it work, we make magic and miracles. We have to fill the space of both the mother and the father. not in every case, but of course, but there's a lot of trauma that has occurred. And what do we do with it? Where does it go? Well, yeah, it often comes out in anger or contained, suppressed anger, which over time becomes rage. And over time, rage that never got to be expressed becomes depression. So many of us are dealing with depression. So, and yes, our hearts may be broken. Our hearts may be closed because of betrayals or violations or previous experiences that we've had with men that are damaged and unhealed, that have grown up in their own experience, that have caused them to inflict pain or to receive pain. So, yes, there's a list of reasons why many of us are carrying excessive amounts of anger in our systems. And the good news is that can begin to decharge and be discharged. That anger can become transformed, but not all by itself. And I have seen it over and over and over again. And often the angriest Black woman is the one whose love is the most intense, who had the most open heart at one point. And all that love has become poisoned, and now it's anger, and now it's bitterness, and now it's edges, and now it's harshness. Our nature is to love, and the most loving creatures on planet Earth are Black women. Women, because we have a womb, we experience being a portal to life.
You'll
for
hear her
all
going
of humanity. But Black women, even beyond just women, because of the melanin in our skin, because
You
of our
better
capacity for love, and because we have been forced to, in the enslavement period, even love our oppressor's children, and breastfeed our oppressor's children, while our children went without our breast milk, because we were forced to breastfeed and be the wet nurse for their children.
Can I just interject really quickly and say, V from Tennessee said, you sound like Dr. Joy DeGruy. We have Dr. Miss G. We have Miss G on the line. Good rising, my love. How are you?
Good rising. I have a question. And my question is, statistically, how many women to every man?
I don't know what the latest count is, and it also depends on what age group you're looking at, because the statistics vary depending on whether you're looking at, college age or under 21 or, over 70, where the mortality rate comes into play more. So I don't know what the latest Census Bureau stats would say on the count of men to women. So I don't know what the current stat on that would be. Do you?
No, I really don't. I just go by talking to different people, and it seems to be shortage of men somewhat. But also, too, in the relationship, I'm an older woman. I was in a marriage for 40 years. And I'm really not looking for anyone. But my granddaughter, who is in her 30s, came to me and said, we talked, and I told her, and I think the only reason I want to feel safe with this, that's the reason why I called. I said, be careful what you sign up for, because she's complaining after a relationship she's been in several years. And I said to her that, you need to be careful what you sign up for, because it goes deeper than that. And, just through conversation, I think that, when it's good, and then when it gets bad, everybody gets all tensed up, and and I told her, you signed up for it. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Thank you, Miss G. You know we love you and appreciate you and hope you have an amazing day today. Sabrina, do you feel, I know you brought this up, where we live in this ideology where we live in lack, where there is a lack of men, and we're seeking and trying to find the men, and the men are trying to find the women. But are there, sufficient amount of men out here for these great women, and are there a sufficient amount of good women for these amazing men?
Well, I don't subscribe to the concept of lack, and that is beat into us, particularly as African American women. And there are men everywhere. There are black people everywhere. There are black men everywhere. Part of the problem becomes we have this requirements list that we run around with in our head, where we want a man that has certain physical features. So there might be a man walking by us on the street that has the heart of gold, that has the qualities that we say we desire in a man, but because he's 5'7" and not 6'2", for example, we don't even see him.
Ladies is guilty.
Though he's real. I have been in restaurants with women, and I remember going to a restaurant with a friend of mine who was talking about there's no good black men, where are they, where are they, where are they? And we went to a restaurant, and I said, right now, without looking around, because we've been in the restaurant for about an hour at that point, I said, I want you to tell me how many black men there are in this restaurant. And she says, I don't know, I didn't see any. The fact of the matter is there was four other black men in the restaurant, and I was able to turn around and point exactly where they were, because my awareness and noticing was way beyond hers. So if you let her tell the story, there was no black men in the restaurant. There's no black men in the city. But if you ask me, the same woman in the same space, because my awareness is one of abundance, I notice their presence. Well, who do you think would tend to meet one if she says there's zero because of her unawareness? And my experience is there's four. Well, I would probably walk out of there the one that had met one of the four. So then, and I experience that all the time. I grew up about an hour away from the city I live in now. Fewer black people than this city. And when I got to this city, everyone was like, oh my God, where are the black men? Where are the black men? I got here and all I saw was black men everywhere. Because compared to how few there were in the city I grew up in, I was now in it was like gold. It was, oh my gosh, look at all these amazing black men. Well, then I would go somewhere and I would hear women talk, well, there are no good black men. There's no, and I'm like, what? Are we in the same city? And my experience was I had dates almost every night in the same city where the conversation that was entertained was one of lack. There are men everywhere, but we tend not to see them because they got to look like Denzel or whatever. They got to be a certain height. We haven't been taught to notice and know how to attract qualities. We've been told to put out a list that in our mind that has features. And features do not equal deep satisfaction and fulfillment. So that's what we tend to look for men through a lens of features, including physical features. So if we can learn how to see the heart, see the qualities, not just see the height or see the car, because they could be a millionaire and they choose to drive a Prius. One of my clients, multi-millionaire, and he drove a Prius. So most women would have looked at that and judged the car, and based on their own erroneous summary would say, oh, he must not have a lot of money. He's driving a car like that that's efficient on gas. He must not have money. Because we don't know how to not judge by features. And that very man in that car was a multimillionaire. I just met with them.
You're going to have these women in Boston start dating men with Priuses thinking that they're silently millionaires.
You know, I'm just saying. But in our crazy programming, you know, he has to have there might be a man that has a Mercedes and a man that has a Prius. And the man who has a Mercedes, we're going to think, oh, he makes more money. And we're going to label create all kinds of associations with him because of a feature, the kind of car he drives. Because we don't really know what qualities. How about a prosperity consciousness? How about that quality? And then do you possess it so you can attract it? So we become features obsessed in these lists in our heads. So if we learn how to lock onto qualities and not features, it becomes an abundant place with men, black men, available men everywhere. But as long as you stay in features and in an intense judgment, which we tend to do, you'll be in lack. So one of the assignments I give women, especially older women, will say, well, you know, once you get older, you know, there's even fewer men. And I'll say, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to count. So a lot of women fly in for my stuff. So I want you to count. I want you to start counting all the men you encounter between here and when you get back home. At every stoplight, in the store, at the airport, in the airport security line, start counting men. And when you get back home, you send me an email and you tell me how many men you saw just from today to when you get back home tomorrow. And it's hundreds. And if I say just count the men over 50, it's still hundreds. So we have been programmed into lack and scarcity. That I know. And as soon as women start to challenge that programming, they start to notice men like they hadn't before. On the same bus they would ride every day. Oh my God! Look at all the men on this bus! But your belief actually affects what you see and what you notice and what you pay attention to.
I don't know if you guys have noticed and paid attention to, but at the beginning of this recording, because we're currently recording on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, at the beginning of this recording, I didn't have twinkles in my eyes and my back wasn't straight. I was slouching and I was sad, and even the tone in my voice was different. And so I can only imagine what's going to happen February 25th at the Lower Mills Lodge, where we had the Black Guns Matter event. Debrina Jackson-Gandy will be there. We start at 11, because I know color people time. Y'all want to come whenever you show up. We start at 11, and we end at 4. We will feed you. Feed your belly, and if you're interested in the VIP for dessert, it will be from 11 until 6, and for regular general admission, it will be 11 until 4. Debrina Jackson-Gandy is going to talk to us about the love lies. One of my favorite things that you said today was, we don't attract qualities, we look for features. And maybe you can reword that for me, because I'm trying to tweet it, because I think it's the most profound thing ever, that we as women do not, we say that we want these type of qualities from men, but we're really looking for features. We're looking, how tall are you? What are you driving? What's on your feet? And not the quality that's in your heart, your morals, what you believe in, your ideologies. You know, how do you plan on raising your kids? Do you believe in whooping? Because I do. You know, those are the things that we don't discuss, we don't talk about. And then we want to say there's not enough men out here, when we're really saying there's not enough men that fit into the Ken Barbie doll that we really think we want.
Exactly. And the truth of the matter is, when you look at, you know, one of the exercises I have women do in Love Academy is I say, okay, ladies, we've been socialized, we've been conditioned to have a list. So whether yours is written down, whether yours is in your head, or it's in a journal somewhere. We got a list most of the time.
You're right,
So
Miss G.
let's just take a few minutes, and I want you to write down your list, what you're looking for in a man. Would you please make your list out? And in every city, from coast to coast, the list looks almost exactly the same.
He got to be 6'2", basketball player type with a football type of body. He has to be like caramel brown skin, have a Lexus or a BMW, maybe a Range Rover. Love kids because I got about 6 of them, and my baby daddies because I got 4 of those.
And he's got to be honest. Honest is on every list. And so the lists are scarily similar. Why is that? Because the programming is so consistent. So then I say to the women, okay, every feature, anything about his physical appearance, that's a feature. Like employment, car, income, those are features. Take every feature off, put an X through it. Now replace every feature with qualities.
Let me ask you a question. When they had to delete every feature, was the list null and void? Like there was no more list?
Well, usually 60% of what's on their list is features.
Okay.
So then they got to take 60% off and now replace features with qualities. And then after they have qualities, because I have them read them to be sure everybody's got qualities, because most people are confused. Features, like what? Okay, share your list. Okay, that's a feature, that's a feature, that's a feature. If it's anything I can assess with my eyeballs, it's a feature. Resume stuff, that's a feature. That's all feature stuff. Where he went to school, that's all feature stuff. Give me qualities. Oh my God, so then they struggle with that. Then I'm like, okay, great. You're cool. You got all qualities. You got all qualities. Now, do you want him to have those qualities? Do you want them to be manifesting in his being? Oh, absolutely. So you want him to be a 10 in those qualities. Real, present, actualized. Oh, yes, I want him to be a 10 in these qualities. Now you take the list of qualities and now you self-rate. And what degree of actualization are they in you right now? Oh, 4, 5, 6. But he's got to be a 10 in all the qualities. You're on the way. You're still in progress. You're still rough. But if you want him to be a 10 in all the qualities, well, guess what? You're going to attract at the level at which you are an embodiment of the quality right now. So you're going to attract level 4 and level 5. Yet you're aspiring to want a level 10 man in all these qualities. But you're going to have a gap. And you're going to keep attracting consistent with where you are and what you embody. So you say you want a man who's financially stable.
Are you financially
but you
stable?
in that area are a 4 because your credit report is in the 500s. And you still have $5,000 of credit card debt. And you don't have any investments and very little savings. So your prosperity consciousness is at a 5, but you want a man who has a 10.
Deep, ain't she?
Do you see you have a 5%, you have a 5-point gap. So on and on we start to see how we're hypocritical. We want to attract at a level 10 in that quality, yet we are at a 4 or a 5 or a 6.
So dare I say this, for every man who's ever said there's no good women out here, for every woman that said there's no good men out here, maybe it's because you're attracting what you are.
Right. And if you're unhealed, you're going to attract disrespect. You're going to attract dishonor. You're going to attract some form of abuse. It may be verbal.
She going in. She ain't going on. She going in.
So relationships are a mirror and a spotlight. They shine light on where we really are in our personal growth, self-love, and personal development. And they also reflect back to us because the behavior and way of being of who we're attracting is an external billboard that reflects back to us where we really are. And we're not where we think we are. We're not as mature emotionally and spiritually as we think we are. Our hearts aren't as open as we think they are. Most of us have a partially or almost completely closed heart because of previous stuff that's happened. Our eyes are affected. What we actually see is affected by crazy beliefs, and we start to believe in lack and shortages. There are men everywhere, and you can change your thinking, heal your beliefs, and start to see the very same path to work you may have been taking every day. You'll start to notice new things. Like, where do all these men come from? It happens all the time. Women call me, email me all the time. Oh my God, since I did your course, there's men everywhere. I'm seeing men that I haven't seen before. It's like all of a sudden they just got like dropped from by parachute or something. Like it's because your lens changed, because your beliefs got changed.
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. We're coming to the top of the hour, but I feel, opinion not fact, that if you attend our event, February 25th at the Lower Mills Lodge, same place where we had the Black Guns Matter event, you will then start feeling like it's raining men. Like, Debrina, I didn't know where all these men came from. So, Debrina, I want to thank you. Can we have you back on the show prior to the event? Because I think there's a few more things that we need to talk about before the event.
Absolutely. How about next Tuesday? Will that work? The 21st. I'd love to come back. That'll be a few days before the 25th.
I think that would be amazing. I'm really excited. One more time, if you guys are unaware, we are currently on the line with Debrina Jackson Gandy. She is the author of Love Lies. She has been on the show many times before, and we were talking about everything from relationships to healing to love lies and love truths and why we believe the things we currently believe and how we can heal from these false beliefs. And she will be here on February 25th from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. But if you get a VIP ticket, it will be until 6 p.m. Those tickets are currently on sale online. You can go to TaylaAndre.com. And all of the information is there. You'll see a picture of this beautiful queen in her bright smile. You have seen her in the Oprah magazine, Essence, Ebony, CNN, Oprah.com. She's been everywhere. She speaks everywhere. From frustration to freedom. Because a lot of us are frustrated with our current relationship status or our situationships. A lot of us aren't in relationships. We're in situationships. And Debrina's going to bring a new approach to love relationships. And I'm so glad we were able to finally bring you here, and so we can heal, so you can make us heal. The truth will make you free, and I'm ready to be set free, so I can go ahead and be like a ring on it. Debrina, I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing day.
Thank you, darling. See you soon.
Woo! We only got a few more days. Again, tickets are on sale. You can get those online. You cannot purchase them at the door. I don't know why Massachusetts does this. If you know, school me. If not, don't know why they do it like this, but tickets will not be sold at the door. You have to purchase them online in advance, and they are currently available. And you can get the you can get the early bird special now. That will last until, you don't know, it might last until tonight, tomorrow. You better hurry up. Come on, Cletus. In other news, really quickly, I do want to say a huge shout out to the MBLA. The MBLA and the Boston Police Department B3 will be hosting your third annual Know Your Rights Youth Forum on March 3rd at 5:30 p.m. at the Mildred Community Center. Is a great opportunity for our youth and for our young people to be heard and informed. Special thanks to C-Plan Diamond Educators in the DA's office for helping to make this happen. This is the Know Your Rights Forum. This program is designed for students between 6th and 12th grade. It's police interaction, stop and frisk, youth school to prison pipeline, and youth voice perception, so we can go ahead and understand what these babies are going through, so we can understand how they feel. Again, this is March 3rd. Registration starts at 5:30. The program begins at 6. For more information, please go online. I believe it's at Eventbrite. It's also on Facebook, or you can go to the massblacklawyers.com, and you'll be able to find all of the information there. One more time, because I think this is really important and we need to get this information out to those that are available. The Massachusetts Black Lawyers Association and the Boston Police Department Area B3 are hosting a Know Your Rights Youth Forum. The program is designed for 6th to 12th graders. They're going to be discussing police interactions, stop and frisk, school to prison pipeline, and we are going to hear it from the babies themselves, from the 6th to 12th graders. Bring your child out. If they feel any type of way about the police, it'll be at the Mildred and Mattapan March 3rd. Have those babies come out and have their voices heard. Shout out to C-Plan, the Collaborative Parent Leader Action Network. You know I'm a part of C-Plan. I love everything that we do, and we are definitely working together with the Massachusetts Black Lawyers Association and the Boston Police to have these babies' voices heard, because it is important that our youth get their point across and that they are heard and that they are understood. And the police need to listen, and they will be listening. This February, again, February 25th, I know I put on for a lot of other events, for other people's events, for community events, but this Debrina Jackson Gandy, healing, love, relationships, the most revolutionary thing we could do is build strong families. That's me. That's I promise you, I am far from rich, but I want us to be rich in knowledge. So I will do whatever it takes to make sure that we continue to have unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness, universal love, respect, honor. So this February 25th, when Debrina comes, please come out, please show out, please support, because we're not supporting XYZ, you're supporting me, TaylaAndre. Also, YPN, the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts, the Young Professionals Network, has also partnered up with me, TaylaAndre. We are having the Black Boston Economic Summit. This is for free. You walk in and walk out as you please, but please come, stay, and learn what you can. 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., March 11th and 18th, 2 days, 2 Saturdays. The first Saturday will be for the beginner's guide to creating financial wealth, home security, and insurance basics. On March 18th, we're going to learn about insurance as a whole, creating a home line of credit, expanding your financial wealth like a pro. Again, this will be located at the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts at 88 Warren Street in Roxbury. And if you come and bring your credit report, you'll get a free 10-minute one-on-one review. So you can go over your credit report, see how you can improve your credit. And this is the number one, as far as, shout out to Thumbprint Realty, because they are really helping us to put this on and put this together. Thank you, the Young Professionals Network, Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts. One of the number one things as a real estate agent that I see is we have so many people that don't understand their financial wealth, that don't understand a budget, that don't understand their credit, that don't understand how to create generational wealth. Grandma was on Section 8, your mama was on Section 8, and it passed down to you. And right now, you paying about $1,600, but baby, you could be paying $1,600 for a mortgage that you own, that you can pass down to your child, that nobody has to come inspect, that nobody can take away from you, that is yours. And it frustrates me. How do we stop gentrification? By owning our own homes. That's how we stop gentrification, because you can't kick me out of my house. You ain't finna kick me out my house. You might be able to raise my taxes, but you can't kick me out of my house. When we're renting and our landlords want to raise the rent and we don't have the money to foot the difference, what do you have to do? We have to move. Saturday, March 11th and 18th, let's learn how to create this generational wealth for our children. This is the stuff that our parents didn't know, so they couldn't teach to us. This is the stuff that the school wasn't going to teach to us, that we weren't going to learn this in those institutions. So we have to find these programs that are in our community to sit down and teach us the things that we lack. And baby, you are not the only one. This program was put together based on the things that I didn't know, based on the things that I didn't understand, based on the things that I'm seeing my clients aren't understanding. Shout out to Thumbprint Realty. I love and respect everything that we do. We do. You hear that? We do. And don't forget, so I'm going to go head over to Quick Link, 200 Blue Hill Ave. If you need your taxes done, please head over to Quick Link. I want to give a huge shout out to Jaime and Julie. Haimanot is an Ethiopian queen that opened her own business. It is a woman-owned, woman-led, woman-managed business on 200 Blue Hill Ave, directly across the street from the old Packies. You can drop your taxes off. If you have to work, you don't have time, you can drop them off in the morning and pick them up at night. I said morning because I'm currently in mourning right now. So, literally. And last but not least, Black Guns Matter, for those that are currently watching. I love Black Guns Matter. Shout out to Maj. Shout out to Firearm Fred, 617-293-1011. I am a Second Amendment sister. I do believe in my Second Amendment rights. I believe in your Second Amendment rights. And I believe that we have the right to bear arms in this amazing country that we live in. And if you don't have a Corey, if you don't have a federal record, baby, you have no reason why you cannot have your gun license. Shout out to Faith's Naturals. That is my healer. She went ahead and laid hands on me yesterday. Said, Tayla, it's okay. Your auntie's here with you. She feels you. Just talk to her. And once you walk into 66A South Street, right down the street from Forest Hills, I promise you, I don't care what you have to do, it is difficult for you to walk out of Faith Naturals. And she has this new Pum Pum oil. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. She has the Strawberry Drizzle oil. If you've ever used any of her products, the Strawberry Drizzle is a bomb scrub. She finally made an oil. It smells delicious. You'll start licking yourself. It's that good. And I know Valentine's Day is past, but you guys need to get the Strawberry Drizzle. You got to get the oil, and the Pum Pum oil is so dope. So you know you have the Pum Pum wash for the shower. So when you get out the shower, you spray the little Pum Pum oil, and it's like a dry oil, so it dries up quickly. It smells amazing. Take your drawers off. It smells like... I'll stop. I am TaylaAndre. You are waking up with TaylaAndre Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. I feel better than I did when I walked in here. I want to give peace and blessings to every single last one of my family members whose heart is currently broken. Francis Pina Gomes, we love you. We love your smile. We love your energy. We love the way you loved us. And we will forever miss you, baby. We don't know when the funeral is, but I will make sure that I inform those that are connected. That was my baby. That was my pretty lady. And she's no longer here, and I promise you it breaks my heart. And if I take a time out, please bear with me. Because I don't have full control over my emotions when it deals with my elders. I don't have full control over my emotions when it deals with the matters of the heart. And I'll be transparent when it comes to that. So if you don't hear me, just know that I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it. And I might need some of your energy. I give so much of myself sometimes, y'all. I might need you to give some to me. But I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. We are back mañana for what? Freaky Friday.
Yep, that's right, baby. You know what it is? It's DJ Sus1, the feature presentation. Listen, make sure you wake up with TaylaAndre Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. on Big City 101.3 FM. Wake up with the Radio Rebel. Politics, news, conspiracies. Wake up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. This is the type of stuff I'm into, all right? Make sure you tune in. Let's go.
What's going on, y'all? It's your girl, Lady Luck, and you are now tuned in to Big City, right here on 101.3 with my homegirl, my buddy, my friend, TaylaAndre, Boston's #1 talk show. Keep it locked.
Know the Smoke Entertainment present.
I love you. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I really do feel better than I did when I walked in, so I thank you for all of your prayers, all of your love, and all of your Care Bear energy towards me. And I look forward to tomorrow.